Hi there, good afternoon. Time for a Facebook Live 5,000 word bank challenge. So here we are with our another set of words, phrases, collocations, and idioms. Okay, so just to tell you, I'm here to help all the big dreamers who want to work, study, or migrate abroad. Okay, those who have a wanderlust, those who want to travel, those who want to study as they are traveling and seeing new world around them. So I help them to convert their dreams to reality. Because to do that, you need to prove your English proficiency. And that is done through many modes, through many exams that you have to write. It could be IELTS, it could be Pearson, Duolingo, TOEFL, even the university exams, you may have to appear for SAT, you may have to appear for, if you're going to another branch, you may have to appear for GRE, GMAT. There are so many ways you got to prove your English proficiency either in one of these ways. Not just that. If even you're planning to go for some higher studies within a country, you will have to appear for entrance test. And more often than not, for MBA, for any exam, you have to prove your English proficiency. It is always a part of your examination protocol. And even at school level, when you're writing your five subjects, whatever the stream, commerce, arts, science, humanities, you have to qualify English. And that is sure short 100 marks in your wallet. So why not work on this, which is not as difficult perhaps as maybe your STEM subjects. I beg your pardon. It depends like how you take a subject. It's difficult or easy depending upon your interest. The subject per se is never difficult, ever. Whatever subject you say, it's your inclination, your aptitude, your passion, your interests that makes it interesting or uninteresting for you. So that doesn't mean the subject become uninteresting. It may be interesting to many of them. Okay, so we are talking of English language, which is a global requirement, which is your academic requirement, which is a computer requirement. Today, even a social media can be done in any language. It could be a local dialect also. Social media doesn't matter. That's your society you're interacting with. Doesn't matter English or Hindi or Marathi or Gujarati or Punjabi. Anyway, so here we are on a mission to help you improve English language per se. And how can you do that? Because when you have to prove your English proficiency, one of the many things required for you to do is vocabulary. When you have a rich bank full of words, they are like coins, and your bank is rich with coins. So, and the more you use those coins, the more the money is in velocity, it gives you the result. So, when you are amassing these coins of language, you got to use them. That's what gives them the liquidity, the velocity will make them impactful. So, a big disclaimer, you may attend any of the Facebook lives, any of the courses in English, any of thing you want to do for improving English. What you have to do is your inner practice, your inner implementation, your inner learning, how well you try and use them in your speaking, in your writing, in your English, in your daily interactions, whether you're office, whether you're at home, wherever you are. There is ample scope for language using. All communication can be done. You're doing in your mother tongue, isn't it? You can do it in English as a second language too. So, to learn and then to practice is the major requirement for you to improve your English proficiency. So, here we are. You can join my Facebook Live every day. I bring to you a cartload of words, yes, around 10 words, a lot of phrases, collocations, idioms with their synonyms. So, it is your receptivity and what engages you. So, just write them down and try and use them. I give you plethora. I give you a vast choice. You can pick. So you maybe stick to five words using every day. Even slow and steady wins the race. You remember the mountain man? It took him fountain 40 years, but he did break through a mountain. So what is this language? You don't need to wait for 40 years. You can make it happen in 4 years. You can make it happen in 4 months. It's all your call. But when you learn a skill is learned, a skill is picked up, and you have to practice it. Okay. So here we are on our daily dose of words. I'll share my screen with you guys. And words for IELTS. Where am I? Is it this? Yeah. So I'll just open that and then I'll start. Today I have brought words starting with A. So initially I started with words, then I uh, veered off to phrases only, then I veered off to collocations only, and then I ventured into the lane of idioms. And now I have incorporated all of them. Okay, so now I am into the lane of where I take words, phrases, collocations, idioms all together. So it's your call. I'm giving you plethora of them. How many you pick up, how many you use, how many you make part of your lingua franca, part of your vocabulary. Okay, today is my 106th episode. And here I bring, and I start with letter A. Okay, so the simplest word is active, which means energetic. So, regular exercise keeps people active and healthy. The phrases would be to remain active, to active, active participant, or active member, or active chairman, or active wherever you are. है ना? Collocations could be your active lifestyle, active engagement, active membership. So, opposite would be passive, active and passive. And what would be the idiom? It is on the go. That means busy, occupied, engaged. Okay. So we go to another word, which is antique. Antique means old item. The antique was in the museum dates back to the Ming Dynasty. So when you go to a university, you see a lot of antiques there. Antiques. So when you say this is Baba Adam ke zamane ka hai, we are referring to something antique, something very old. Now, some people value old, some people dislike old. They just love the contemporary, the new, the modern. But there are people who have a penchant, who have a liking for antiques, for old items. What would be the phrases? The antique collection, or the antique shop, or the museum, antique museum. And collocations would be antique furniture, antique artifacts, antique pot. It could be antique picture, antique sculpture. It could be anything. And even as old as hills. So this piece is as old as the hills. Hills are the older version of the mountains. Okay, you know that mountains are the new ones, hills are the older ones. So as old as the hills, we say, never as old as the mountains. Excuse me. And what are the synonyms for this idiom? Again, it is ancient, time worn, aged. You may say that. Okay. Next word is agility. Agility means the quickness. Okay, the gymnast's agility allowed her to perform complex routines effortlessly. Are you watching the Paris Olympics? You will know the meaning of agility there, the quickness there. Go and watch the badminton match. You will know what is agility. Okay, the phrases. It is to demonstrate agility or mental agility. Yes, he's mentally agile, he's mentally slow, he's physically agile, physically slow. You may use it with anything. Okay, so that is your agility. And what is the idiom for agility? Is quick on the draw, it is sharp, it is swift, it is alert. So when you're quick on the draw, you can use it idiomatically also. So you are very sharp, you're swift, you're alert. Okay, you remember the car Swift? So you remember from there. Car means agility. So that's how the companies name the vehicles. So use agility and swift now today. They should become part of not exactly difficult words. Next comes attire. So what is attire? Attire is your dress. Attire could be a costume. Attire could be your daily clothes you're wearing. So proper business attire is required for the interview. Do you understand? So when you go for interview, it's your attire that gives a first impression. So how you dress makes a lot of difference, particularly when you're going in a formal setup. Okay, an attractive book cover makes you go for the book. So an attractive or a polished attire makes people turn their heads towards you. Now, what are the phrases? It's a formal attire, it's a casual attire, collocations is business attire, traditional attire, and idiom is dressed to the nines, and synonyms are dressed, smartly dressed, sharply dressed, or sharp dressed. So dressed to the nines. Don't you say cloud nine? So try and keep that context in your mind. So you're dressed to the nines. That means you're very well dressed. Dressed to the nine. Smartly dressed. Awful. That means dreadful, atrocious. The weather was awful, making it impossible to enjoy the picnic. Okay. And what are the phrases? Awful weather, awful experience, awful person, awful situation, awful event. It could be anything, could be awful. It's usually with a negative connotation, bad. Okay, that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, something very unattractive to you, atrocious. So collocations would be awful mistake, awful smell. So that was an awful mistake you made. That was an awful smell from there. So idiom is a fate worse than the death. A fate worse than the death. So when you're living a life, horrendous life, dreadful life, there are people in this world who are living a fate worse than death. Now, it could be situational, it could be out of ignorance, it could be out of choice, or it could be out of whatever the reason. So many people are caught up where their fate is worse than the death. We have assets. So, what are your assets? It is not just the commerce word. Asset isn't a commerce word. It is your earnings. So, asset is your karma. Asset is your action. Asset is your heart. They are your assets. So, what is the company's assets? The merger. This is precisely the financial definition. Okay, you can take it metaphorically also. So, what are the phrases? Valuable assets, liquid assets. We're talking about money, the finance. Collocations is financial assets, company assets. At times, employees are the best assets to any company. The more talented and the more skilled they are, the better and the best asset it is for the company. Okay, so idiom is worth its weight in gold. Okay, that's a today I'm going the reverse approach. I would take the idiom and then go to the synonyms. Now I'm going the synonyms to the idiom. So worth its weight in gold. Synonyms are invaluable, priceless, precious, and worth its weight in gold. And next one, sample, ample. So I'll make this the last today, seventh word. Ample is myriad of, numerous, lots of. There were ample opportunities for networking at the conference. She has a myriad of interests ranging from painting to hiking. Now, this is very useful, or you can bring it in plethora of cases, in myriad of cases, in myriad of examples. Numerous studies have shown the benefits of a balanced diet. Okay, so here we go. Next one is, I'm not taking these two words, it becomes too much. And now, the story. Okay, so what is the story here? Now I've stopped sharing it. I'm going to use all these words, phrases, idioms into a story. You got to crane your ears, follow me. If you don't follow, refer to the meaning given by me. You try to place the sockets in the right place. It's a jigsaw puzzle then for you. Otherwise, it's not difficult, it's not tough. So here we go with the story. Okay, this story will incorporate all the words. Okay, in the bustling city of Metropolis. I usually take this city. Okay, Metropolis, bustling city. Learn this. An active young woman named Emma, and this is my favorite name, led a vibrant life. Listen to the story. In the bustling city of Metropolis, an active young woman. What does she do? An active young woman She led a vibrant life, an active life. She maintained an active lifestyle and was known as an active participant in community events. Emma was always on the go, whether it was a job, hobbies, or social gatherings. Now, did you notice, even though I'm using the word active, it's all in different ways. That's what IELTS cares for. You may use the word, but differently, as a different part drama. So active lifestyle, active participant, on the go. Okay, they're all different. Whether it was a job, hobbies, or just social gatherings. Next, Emma had a passion for collecting antique items. Her antique collection was the talk of the town, and she often visited the local antique shop to find antique artifacts. Some of her pieces were as old as the hills, representing centuries of history. Next, one day, Emma's friend Jake invited her to an exhibition showcasing physical agility and intellectual agility. The performance demonstrated agility in ways that left the audience in awe. Jake was quick on the draw, with his camera capturing the swift and alert movements of the performers. Yes, photographers have to be quick on the draw. Videographers have to be quick on the draw. Emma wore her best formal attire to the event. As it was a high profile occasion, she always prided herself on being dressed to the nines, well dressed and sharp dressed for every event. She prided herself on being dressed to the nines. I have known such people. The exhibition was impressive, but unfortunately, the evening ended in awful weather. A sudden storm turned the night into an awful experience for everyone. So you see how I'm using the words in various contexts. Now, despite the awful weather, Emma was thrilled when she received news that one of her valuable assets, an ancient vase, was now considered worth its weight in gold due to its rarity. This vase was part of financial assets which she had carefully collected over the years. If you are an antique collector, you'll understand what Emma is feeling. Emma had ample time during the stormy weekend to reflect on her ample opportunities and ample resources. I hope you'll learn it by the time we end it. She realized how fortunate she was to have more than enough. Yes, indeed, we are fortunate. Then millions of people out there, we have so much at our disposal. Thank you, Lord. Do that. So she had, and she was fortunate. She realized how fortunate she was to have more than enough to live comfortably and pursue her passions. Jake, an amateur photographer, often made amateur mistakes. Okay, so getting the new word amateur. Anyway, so through all these events, Emma's belief in herself remained strong. She continued to live an active lifestyle, adding to her antique collection, supporting Jake in his photography. Despite the awful experiences and challenges, she found that life had more than enough opportunities. It always is there. Just look around you. If you're feeling doldrums, if you're feeling down and dumps, no, look around. You will see that life has given you more than enough opportunities for growth, for learning, and making a positive impact. Do it. So, with this, I end my session today. I'll see you again tomorrow, same platforms. Be ready with your pen and notebook. I end my session. Bye.